Hey there, it's Sara, and I'm coming at you with a shorty episode of the No More Wasted Days podcast, and I am so excited for this topic today. If you've been a longtime listener, you know that I love talking about all things goal setting, and today I'm going to talk to you about why goal setting brings focus into your alcohol-free journey. Goal setting is such a powerful tool and it can totally transform your alcohol-free journey. You can go from feeling like being alcohol-free is the hardest thing, and by simply starting to set goals and using the techniques that I'm going to teach you in today's episode, you'll start feeling like your alcohol-free journey is almost easy. You'll wonder why you thought it was so hard before, because you're going to start seeing yourself hit these little goals that you set for yourself on the way to the big goals. And you're going to start to realize that drinking you just wasn't able to hit those big goals the same way alcohol-free you does. That's what I started to finally see. I could see that by being alcohol-free, I was choosing an easier path to get to all the things that I wanted. And I was able to vibrate higher for the universe to feel, and it could bring me everything that I wanted with more ease. A lot of people feel like they're experiencing chaos at the start of their sobriety journey, and setting clear goals can provide direction and purpose for you. And today I'm also going to give you some practical tips for organizing your thoughts and creating actionable goals, because I think sometimes people will hear me say that setting goals makes your alcohol-free journey feel easier, and they start to think, no, setting goals overwhelms me. It makes me feel stressed. But I hope as you listen to this, you get as excited about setting goals as I do, and you start to see that it doesn't have to be overwhelming, and it's going to give you that purpose that you need on your alcohol-free journey. Before I dive into the topic that you know I'm so excited about, I want to tell you something that I'm even more excited about. Enrollment is officially open to the Push to 100. I have been talking about it on the podcast for a while now, but now you can actually go, you can enroll, you can do it while you're listening to this podcast, and all of a sudden you're going to have a welcome email from me by the end of this episode welcoming you to the Push to 100. I am going to guide you through your first 100 days of being alcohol-free. I have got to tell you, when I hit my 100-day milestone, that was one of my most memorable moments on my alcohol-free journey. I'm 5.5 years alcohol-free now, but that 100 days showed me that I could do things that I really thought I couldn't do. 100 days felt impossible when I started this, but when I hit it, I was like, oh my gosh, I can do hard things. If I can do this, imagine the other things I can do. And I want that for you in your life as well. When you join the Push to 100, you don't have to do your alcohol-free journey alone. You're going to be linked with me and the other members of the Push to 100 in a private community message thread. I'm going to set you up with printable journals and workbooks so you can really process everything you're learning as you're going and really work on transforming your mindset. There's going to be a 30-day push from us at the beginning where I'll be doing daily videos with you, daily emails, and we'll really be working closely, because those first 30 days can feel really overwhelming. So I know that if we're together as much as we can be, you're going to succeed. And then from days 31 to 100, I'm going to walk you through 5 amazing modules that I am so excited to share with you. Along with all of that, you also get 2 group coaching calls with me each month during the challenge. And the first 20 people to join will get a free one-on-one 30-minute coaching session with me as well. So hop into the link in the show notes, go see what it's all about, and join today so you're all set up to start on January. All right, let's dive into goal setting. First of all, I talked about this a little bit in the intro, but why does goal setting matter so much on your alcohol-free journey? Like, why am I always talking about it? Like I said, it brings order to the chaos that some people may be feeling at the beginning of their sobriety journey. It can feel really overwhelming, almost like you're just flying through life without a net, or like driving in your car without a seatbelt on. That feeling that you have like you're just going to fly out of the car, right? That's how it can feel when you're brand new on your alcohol-free journey. But when you start setting goals for yourself, you start harnessing all this new energy that you have, and you start putting it into having meaning to your daily choices because you're working towards something bigger. It's also going to help you create momentum on your journey. You're going to start to see that you can achieve small and achievable goals, but then start gaining that confidence to do bigger goals and say, okay, if I know how to do these small achievable goals, I can start putting those together to start having bigger and bigger goals. Now, this doesn't have to be if you're just brand new to your alcohol-free journey. I still am totally into my goal setting. And this time of year especially is when I like to start looking and saying, okay, what do I want to achieve in the next year? What goals do I want to set for myself? So how can we actually start setting effective goals? I'm going to give you 5 steps that you can use when it comes to goal setting to make it all seem a little less overwhelming. Number 1, I want you to start with self-reflection. I want you to just really sit with yourself and start thinking, what do I want out of my alcohol-free journey? Maybe it's improved relationships. Maybe it's better health. Maybe it's personal growth, learning more about self-care, or taking yourself on a spiritual journey. I know that Heather and I have gone through so many different topics on the podcast, but just start thinking which ones really speak to you. Those can be some goals for yourself that you can actually set on your alcohol-free journey. After you've done that self-reflection, you're going to move on to number 2, which is breaking it down. I want you to break down your goal into what we call SMART goals. Now, whenever I say SMART goals, it really makes me roll my eyes because this is what they would make us write when we would go through our teacher goals for the year. And there's something about it. It's like somebody telling me what to do in my job made me always really feel like I don't want to do that. But I have to tell you a little secret. It really works. So SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So when I was a teacher, I would have to write a goal for myself for the year, and I would have to make sure that it was all of those things. Now you get to do it in a much more fun way, I hope. So an example of this is instead of writing down, I want to feel healthier in 2025, you can set a goal like, I will walk 20 minutes 5 times a week. And you could make that for a month. You could make it for a year. You can do it for however long you want to. But that is going to hit all of those parts. It's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. You could make it something with your alcohol-free journey. So instead of saying, I want to be alcohol-free for a year, you would say something like, each evening when I get home from work, I'm going to make myself a mocktail. I'm going to listen to a podcast that changes my focus for the day, and I'm going to keep moving so I choose not to drink in that day. That's giving yourself a very specific goal for each day that's going to lead to you being alcohol-free on that day. So just really narrow in one of your big goals and start making it more specific. And remember those other steps: measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Number 3 is to prioritize. I want you to start really focusing in on the importance of just having a few meaningful goals rather than overwhelming yourself with too many. I have to admit, I'm the queen of overwhelming myself with too many goals because I get too excited about setting goals. And especially this time of year, I start thinking about what my goals for 2025 are going to be probably on December 1st. I get more excited about setting my goals than I do about Christmas time. And I just start thinking, what can I do in 2025? And because I get so excited, I start to have so many goals. So one thing you can start doing is start seeing that they all are lying in certain areas for yourself. I will have a lot of goals for myself for No More Wasted Days, but then I really sit down and look at those and I'll say, which one am I going to be the most excited to present to people? Which one am I going to be the most excited if I achieve it? Which one can help the most people? If I'm looking at it that way, it really helps me go, okay, let me pick out the one that's really going to help the most people instead of maybe the one that I just feel really pulled towards, if that makes sense. It's another thing too, if one of your goals is to be alcohol-free for all of 2025, then maybe don't make a million other goals about all these different things. Just pick out a few other things that will actually support that huge goal for yourself. So you're going to basically have 1 or 2 huge goals for yourself, but then you can have those supporting goals that go with them or the supporting habits that go with them. But really work on prioritizing, make a huge list of goals, but then really start looking, where can you categorize them together? What's the big one out of all of those? And really make that priority setting part of the process. Number 4, write it down. Really start writing down your goals somewhere and take it a step farther and share it with somebody. When you write it down, you're more likely to achieve your goal, but when you share your goal with other people, the likelihood of you achieving the goal goes up so much more. So write it down, and then I'm going to urge you to take it a step farther and share your goal with somebody. Number 5 is to review and revise as you're working towards this goal. This is so important because sometimes we'll set a huge goal for ourselves and then life happens, right? Life can get a little lifey, as they say. And when that happens, sometimes those really big goals shift. And all of a sudden, they're not as important as you thought they were because maybe something happens in your family life, or maybe there's just a big shift somewhere. So when that happens, that's when we're going to review and revise. And you're going to know right now that it's okay to adjust as you grow. Now you know how to be effective in your goal setting, but let's talk about some tools and strategies you can use to stay on track while you're moving towards that goal. The first one is journaling. You can journal to document your process, and you can reflect on challenges as you're going as well. So write out that big goal. Remember, that was number 4 of setting those effective goals. So write it out, but then start reflecting on it. Each day, just take a little moment and think, did I work towards that goal today? How did it feel? How did it work? Did I have a setback? What can I do to fix that? Another thing you can do, and this is one of my favorites, is create a vision board. Create a visual representation of your goals to stay inspired. This is something that I do each year with my family. We all create a vision board in the Canva app, and then you can actually make it the background of your phone, or you can make it a poster that you print out. But it really is, I sit down and I look at all the goals that I have for myself, or all the hopes that I have for habits throughout the year that I can set for myself, and I just start having pictures for them. So one year I really wanted to make daily meditation a priority for myself, so I just had a picture of a person meditating. So when I would open my phone, I would see that picture and I would think, oh yeah, that's something that's important to me. Another goal for myself might be creating a larger community for No More Wasted Days, reaching more people with No More Wasted Days, so then I can have a visual representation of a group of people that look excited and happy to be together. You can put that on your vision board. For the past 3 years, I've had the goal of completing our house build, so there's a picture of our house there, or maybe even more specifically, a picture of a certain room that I wanted to finish, like when I knew I wanted us to finish our bathroom and kitchen, just having those pictures there. So when I open my phone, I see that each day, and it's just a reminder to myself that says, hey, stay focused, stay inspired, stay motivated. Next, I want you to think about daily habits. Start looking at your goals and then start thinking about what are the daily actions that will make those goals happen. Think about, what does a person look like who is alcohol free? What's that mental picture to you? What are things that they do in their day-to-day life? Do they have a morning routine? Do they get home and just slump down on their couch and just chill out and eat junk food? Or do they get home and they do something really inspiring and motivating? They go on a walk, or they engage in a craft, or they listen to a podcast as they prep their dinner. What do they actually do? And start doing those habits. That's a trick that I learned from Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it helped me so much in the beginning of my alcohol-free journey. Really having the mental picture for myself of what a person looks like who is alcohol-free. What do they do each day? And then I just thought, okay, I just have to start doing those things. And all of a sudden, I became that person. I shifted into that person. The next tool or strategy you can use is accountability. Share your goals with a trusted friend, a coach, or a community like the Daymakers. The Daymakers community is always open for you to join. And if being alcohol-free is important to you, something like the Daymakers could be great for you if you're farther along on your journey. If you're brand new to your journey, check out that Push to 100 because it could definitely offer that accountability that you need. The last tool and strategy that I have for you for staying on track as you move through these goals is celebrating milestones. Recognize and reward your progress, no matter how small it is. A lot of people will say to me like, oh, I'm only 3 days alcohol free. And that is huge because you can't get to day 100 without getting through day 1 and day 2 and day 3. You can't get to day 1000 without those really important days. And you'll hear Heather talk a lot about how day 3 was the hardest day. So when you get through that, you're getting through some of the hardest stuff. So when I hear people minimize those lower numbers on their their alcohol-free journey, I am like, oh my gosh, no way. You have got to be recognizing that and rewarding yourself along the way. So figure out little things you can do for yourself. Maybe it's taking yourself out for coffee, getting a little ice cream treat, whatever it is. Figure out how you can reward yourself, buying new clothes, taking a day off to go out for a hike. Really get focused on what moves you and what motivates you, and start leaning into those things as ways to celebrate your milestone. Often when I hit my year mark of my alcohol-free journey, I will celebrate it with going out for breakfast and then going out on a hike and taking the day off for that day. If that's something that you're able to do that. So I know that I've talked a lot about why goal setting is important, but I just want to give you an example of how I did it early on in my alcohol-free journey. It doesn't always have to be about your alcohol-free journey. Obviously, that's a huge goal that you have for yourself. But when I first started my journey, I was all in on being alcohol-free. And when I got to about day 75, I decided I was going to do this 100-day workout program. It was called the Morning Meltdown 100. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to follow the nutrition program that comes with it. I'm going to do every single workout. And I am just going to be like the best person at this program. That was my mentality. It really gave me something to focus on. It brought clarity into my alcohol-free journey. It allowed me to see that by being alcohol-free, I was able to focus more on these workouts. I was able to focus more on the nutrition piece of it. And it was just a really cool thing to do. Now, obviously, fitness might not be your thing. That's something I really enjoy. So that was an easy goal for myself. But maybe you're more into being creative and doing something with art or doing something with the fine arts. Maybe it's something like I want to start playing the guitar and I'm going to challenge myself to do 100 days of practicing the guitar or 100 days of writing in my journal. Just start thinking about different goals you have for yourself in different areas along with your alcohol-free journey, because it's just going to bring in that clarity and focus, and it's going to give you a purpose in your life. And when you have that purpose, you start to see why it is so worth being alcohol-free, because it's just really hard to hit those big goals for yourself when you're drinking each night and you're forgetting moments of your life and you're waking up the next day with a hangover. Trust me, I know, because I've been there. I tried to hit big goals as a drinker and it was so much harder. And doing it as a non-drinker has been so rewarding. So after listening to all of this, I want you to just take 10 minutes today and write down one goal for yourself, and then start breaking that goal into small steps so you can get started. And just remember that every big change starts with one small intentional step. I know you can do this, and I hope you're as fired up as I am about goal setting now, and I hope you understand now why I get so excited when I talk about goal setting. I'm actually going to dive more into this when we have a special New Year's Eve episode that's really going to take you into setting huge goals for 2025, so I hope you're excited about that one. And remember, the Push to 100 is officially open for enrollment, and I really hope to see you there. I can't wait to walk with you through your first 100 days of being alcohol-free. So if you're curious about that, check out the link in the show notes. And thank you so much for listening to this episode. I'll be in your ear in the next one.